This is Era with Earth-Minded Landscapes and Farm, and this is my first YouTube video of just introducing myself and the land that I steward. I want to give a huge shout out to Billy from Permapastures, who has really motivated me and kind of really pushed me to start this YouTube channel. He has a lot of faith in my knowledge and what I do with the earth and how I build a relationship with it, and that has really pushed me to start this channel. So thanks, Billy. I really appreciate all the words and the support from you. So today just going to be really simple, and I'm going to show you all a little tour for the end of June. It's still the beginning of July, but this is like the ends of June. I'm going to start preparing for fall in the next videos, and I'll show you. So let's get to it. Over here is our nursery slash where Annabelle, my toddler, swims. I'm saving pak choy seed. I let it go to flower, and right here you can see that the pods are drying and the seeds drying inside. And in just a little bit I will collect this and put it in a bag when the pods have dried more. And I'll have tons of pak choy seed for next year. And then here's this like the end of my summer garden that I'm getting in. We are in a new place, so we're building garden at the same time as like installing it, and so a lot of what we're doing is late, and that's just something that we are okay with right now. The one thing that you're definitely going to see in this channel is that the reality. I am a working mother and homesteader, and so I'm not a glamorous Instagram or YouTuber, and so you'll see clutter, you'll see realistic, you'll see a working homestead. And so what you're seeing right here is our homemade brooder from reclaimed materials, and these are our 2-week-old Cornish cross mix. And they will go out on pasture in another week and a half, and we'll rotate them twice a week. Here, I'll take you on a tour of this chicken managed food forest. We have a reclaimed solar pack 6 that electrifies the top of our fence. We have a lot of bears in our area, and raccoons and opossums, and they all like to get in here and eat our girls. And so just closing up this fence. We are using, hello ladies, and this is a Dominique rooster. He's so good to our girls. We are using these ladies to really pressure this space to make it into a garden. And so you can see the biological indicators in here say that they should have been moved maybe a couple weeks ago, but we're really pushing them to stay in this space. We add a lot of organic matter. As you can see, we have wood chips, we have straw that they shred for us. We've put down manure in here. Lots of hay and straw. And the reason why we're pushing them is so that we can grow a garden behind them. Otherwise, we would have moved them into another paddock already. This is a reclaimed chicken coop that we have. Dumpster dived materials from construction sites. This metal tin is from a barn that burned down. This concrete siding is, I got off Craigslist, someone posted it for free. They were replacing their siding. 4 boxes. This coop holds 30 girls. And it does a really great job of keeping them safe. This is their chicken yard. We keep these plants high. We haven't mowed them down so that they have shade during the day, because we're growing some mulberries for them here in this space, and so it's going to take several years for the mulberries to get big enough to give them the shade that they really need. Chickens need shade. They need lots of shade. We feed them our compost twice a week, as you can see here. Gave them a little watermelon treat for today that they're slowly pecking at, and they're just building the soil up. It's pretty amazing. So this garden is a Jeff Lawn instant garden, where I've laid cardboard, compost, and mulch down, and then planted into the origin soil or seeded into the compost, and I water it maybe once or twice a week. It is hugely productive and has only been here for 3.5 months. Most of what you're seeing grows in origin soil, which is on top of a ridge, so it has been eroded. And it's this land was once farmed for tobacco, so chemicals and everything was used. So we're enlivening the soil. Lots of labor goes in at the upfront, but I really don't weed that much. I do a little bit every time I come out, and I don't really water that much. If I watered more, I probably would see more productivity, but this is the first year, and so I know that I myself am not willing to use so much water resource that is not, fresh water is not a highly available resource, to push my garden further in its first year when the soil is just building and the organic matter is just starting to be laid. And so that's something that I'm willing to sacrifice, is less abundance this year while the soil builds. Now we're coming up on the garden, and the garden is a two systems. One is our broilers over there, and the second is here growing our food. We'll just do like a scan. This beautiful garden. It is in the middle of the day, so things are weeping a little bit. What you see over there is what it was once here. And so we'll start on this row. These are lima beans that I'm going to be planting in here this week. This is my cucumber row. I keep battling an opossum or a skunk for my cucumbers. They keep coming and eating them, but it looks like we're getting some little baby cucumbers are starting to grow. So that's super exciting. We're having flowers. This is a little, it's called a cucamelon. Looks like little tiny melons that grow in there. That's super exciting. And then these are evening sunflowers that are growing alongside of it. And then I'll plant the lima beans behind the cucumbers. They're a bush variety. And then in here, you can see we have, this is a daikon radish going to seed that I'll save for next year. Now soon we'll cut it off and let it dry. But I've interplanted my next succession of squash. There's 3 different kinds: patty pan, zucchini, and quirkneck. With my kale from the spring. There is fennel in here. You can see I have onions on the side, Creole red onions. And that just goes throughout. This is a spinach that has gone to seed that I'm just going to let seed in place. This is more of the, this is a turnip going to seed. And then in this row, we have more kale, but this was in chard. And then this was the succession sown with green beans. And you can see we have little tiny green beans coming. And fennel and parsley and dill. This is spinach going to seed right here. And I will collect that. There are shallots and onions in this garden bed as well. This is dill. This flowers. Super beneficial. Brings in a predator wasp that will lay on worms, cabbage moss. See, beautiful. These are provider beans going to making the green beans, and parsley in here. Some Swiss chard. This is where that pak choi came out. Big beautiful pak choi. I planted lima beans in here after it. And this is some broccoli that's going to seed. We're still kind of slowly harvesting it. I will probably cut it down. And then this is some leeks going to seed. This bed looks super crazy, but is super abundant. On the sides here, you can see on the sides here, this was like a spring mix slash a stir fry mix that is going to seed, and I just keep cutting it. I've maybe cut it like 8 times already, and I feed it to the chickens. And then in here you can see that I have purple beans growing and that are starting to produce little flowers, and we'll soon have beautiful green beans. This is rye from the straw that I used. It's just seeding, and the rye is not going to last very long, so I'm just keeping it as a green cover for now. And you can go through here and see the lettuces and the beans, beautiful beans. Some dill is interplanted in here. Onions along this side. There is a pink celery, but I planted it super late, and so I don't really expect it to do very well. I won't save any of this lettuce for seed because it has a bunch of different kinds flowering, and so I won't be able to get true seed. And then this is my perennial bed. That's my rhubarb. That's a spearmint. We have comfrey. Shallots are planted in here. 2 ground cherries, not doing so well. Some thyme is planted. Rosemary, 1 surviving strawberry, and some more comfrey. And then you kind of get to see how I make these. Over here this is the perennial bed and what it looks like before the mulch. I've run out of mulch, as you can kind of see in these beds, the tomato bed, that there's no mulch, and so I have to wait until I can get a load in the truck. And these are my tomatoes, sunflowers, marigolds, calendula, that are growing. They're starting to flower. We can put on some tomatoes, and then you can kind of see down in here, but I have peppers. These are green peppers, and then I have some jalapenos and ancho peppers, and I'm starting to cardboard this, and I will put compost down. This bamboo is for the trellis system. I'm doing the Florida weave, and I've started to do that as well. And then I'm going to plant out some basil along the sides of the tomato. And yeah, just slowly chipping away. I got a lot of beans and squash to put in the ground, but here it is, slowly but surely, the garden. So here's our broiler system. We took some electrical conduit and just wrapped some fencing around it, and then some netting on the bottom with some non-puncture tires. You can see the girls in there, girls and boys, I guess. These are our 4-week-old broilers, and another month we'll be harvesting them at the end of July. They are rotated through this twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. We just pull them. You can kind of see behind them. They leave nice, beautiful patches of manure. Behind them was mowed yesterday. You can kind of see this beautiful manure that they're leaving behind for the grass, and it will just abundantly grow. Yeah, and we'll harvest those in another 4 weeks. Yeah, that's a tour of kind of what we got going on. We are a young family with a 2-year-old, my partner and I, and we both work. My partner works full-time and I work full-time as well, and so the homestead is what we do on our weekends and in our off time. It's not our full-time job, and so our progress is slow. We've been here for 6 months on this land, and so we've been able to produce food off from the land for ourselves, and we have like more coming. More abundance is coming, and so that feels super good. Do we wish we produced more? Are we capable of producing more? Yes. But as it is in today's world, you know, you do what you can when you can do it. And so that's where we're at, and we're just grateful to be here and glad to have access to land and the ability to do what we're doing and sharing it with others. And so in the future, you'll see more videos, more educational, talking about like what we're doing. I've been farming for almost 10 years through the lens of permaculture, and so I love to teach more about permaculture design and kind of how to utilize that in a way to produce abundance for the land and for yourself. And that's kind of what my focus is. So y'all have a good rest of your day, and thanks for listening.